ridiculous.
More of these crappy papers.
Crappy papers. Hey, master, this is macabre.
So stupid.
30-97 seconds, Baes Boyz Podcast.
We are the show.
The show.
Greatest show of all time.
Welcome back. Single serving podcast, Banter podcast, Suicide Awareness podcast. Check in on your friends. Love everybody.
Fuck that other show.
Yeah, fuck that other show.
This is the only show that
Maybe
matters.
not everybody, but check in on your people, man. Make
check
sure
in on the
everybody's
people
good.
that check in on you.
Yeah.
We got to come up with some balance for that. I've been thinking about that a lot, but it's okay for now. Check in on people, and if people aren't checking in on you, let us know. We'll check in on you.
We'll check in on you.
Shout out to all of our listeners.
Hey, if you can find our phone number, you can text the show.
Yep. We're happy to take that. I got a voicemail the other day.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was from Amazon.
On the show's phone number?
Yeah.
What were they saying?
It was like, hey, we're trying to contact you about that package. I'm like, homie, you don't have no packages for me, my friend.
It's a scam call.
Right.
Total scam.
Who signed us up for the scammers already? Dude, that's what happens.
It was bound
now.
to happen.
It's bot shit.
It's bots.
Yeah, it's bots. They're saying our Chinese listeners are bots.
Well.
I worry.
Yeah.
I worry because, I don't want, we have that one Chinese listener, we want you to know that we support you.
We do support you.
In fact, you know what? We support all of our Chinese listeners if there is more than one. If you're hiding out in a hole to listen to this show and you got to use like 10 VPNs and port through Greece and Italy and
whatever you got to do.
Orlando.
Yeah, Orlando.
To get in here.
Dude, remember the Miami, speaking of Florida, remember the Miami Mall incident?
The mall aliens? How did I know you were going to that?
Have you seen the footage that came out?
I saw the footage that came out during that time. I haven't seen any new stuff.
Recently, it's like a 2-second clip because they're saying this guy was
Is it
filming
that fucking shadow that's 9 feet tall?
You could see these things.
You know what's creepy about that, right? You know that they described all that and then they pushed that whole game and new movie, Monster Backrooms, and that movie's coming out, and all the stuff in that whole incident looked like the backroom shit.
Oh, no doubt. I did not
so
know
now
that.
it looks, so I always notice, listen, DARPA, we're looking for a job. Connor, you just chill out.
This is how they created the disinformation.
I'm starting to notice some patterns. Every time something real life happens, they go and make a show about it.
Or a video game.
Or a video game.
Or a movie.
Or a movie.
Well, what's that movie coming out?
Fucking time.
Disclosure?
The new World War II movie?
No. I'm talking about the Disclosure movie that's coming out about aliens.
I don't know. They're making a new World War II movie too because they're getting ready to revamp that up.
Oh.
Because we're the greatest,
Okay.
all that stuff. We're saving the world. One mini fight at a time.
There you go.
1 gallon of oil at a time. Anyways, so, no, what movie are you talking about, though?
There's an alien Disclosure movie coming out soon.
About what? They're gonna have all. Well, hold on. Listen, hold on. I'm gonna put this out there for our prediction. Whatever. If Tom DeLonge isn't the head narrator of this movie, I'm not believing it. He's
your Blink guy.
The Blink guy. I think at this point, that's not the drummer, is it? Did we just fuck it up? No, Tom DeLonge and Travis Barker. So Travis Barker's drummer. Okay.
Yeah. At
this point in our lives, at least for me, right? You have to have, we always talk about this. Some people are believing too much. Like, it's like, bro, that's not real. Like, just.
Well, they keep saying they're going to drop all this UFO
I'm not saying it is or
evidence.
Isn't. But I'm saying some of the stuff that you hear, like I met a dude yesterday that was repeating and like he was reading off the TikTok conspiracy list, right?
Okay,
and I'm some of these are like colliding together or whatever. But hear me out. Do you think that old Blink-182 guy could be such a plant that they made Blink-182 famous to make him not be a threat as an authoritarian on the subject so they could later honeypot you with him and people could be like, I trust that guy because he had a porn star on his album cover. And he's the one that's now ahead of all of that.
Wow.
Right. So I'm saying... So
I didn't even consider that.
Right. So
is it far-fetched?
No, because remember, we're hearing all these stories now about how he was going on Bigfoot adventures during the whole tour.
Yep.
Right. So I grew up thinking, here's these
and UFO shit.
Right.
And he created that
whatever
foundation for UFO.
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So I'm just saying, isn't it kind of interesting that here's this dude that transferred over? But
after finding out what you found out about Facebook and how it was a DARPA project that they turned over to Zuckerberg.
I can take you further back. The HARP program's the one that got me. That's the first one that you mentioned where I basically in my mind was like, bro, what the fuck kind of drugs did you do before you showed up here? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then all of a sudden, 2 years later, all this HARP info came out. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you're fucking with me or what, Matrix guy.
Yeah.
You're a Chinese statue. All right.
There
I don't
was
know.
just, by the way, there was just a big, huge earthquake in Iran.
Mm-hmm. Magically. Right where all the oil is?
No, right where all the bunkers are.
Oh.
Weird.
Magically.
Weird how that happened.
At this point, we have guns to make people shit and fucking puke vomit. So we got to take some of that into play. But again, could Tom DeLonge be a plant? I'm saying no because personally, if you listen to their music, I'm like, bro, I don't think so. But that's just me. Maybe I'm wrong.
Look,
but is it far-fetched?
No, it's not far-fetched. Would you put it past?
No.
Okay. That's all. I don't even have to finish that statement.
No, because anytime you, this is my theory on, first of all.
Dude, if you want to push a society in a direction, you use pop culture.
1,000%.
You use pop culture as your weapon.
Look at Jinko jeans. Still there.
They're making a comeback.
I saw an ad for it the other day. I mean, I do follow the page, but the Japanese never let it go.
No, they didn't.
Right. So what I'm saying
Riding around on their homemade chopper bikes.
What I'm saying is we can't trust this guy now. A minute ago, I was going to say we should trust him because he's from a band, but then that PsyOps fucking plan came up and I was like, wait a minute, never mind. We talked earlier on, Mike, that would be the perfect ploy to turn musicians because they can go anywhere. People want to be them.
Right.
People want their lives. Like, I don't know, man. It's dangerous now.
Perfect way.
Dangerous.
The perfect way to get whatever you want.
How about the fact that Tom DeLonge's drummer got into that plane wreck and almost died? Maybe they tried to wax my man for knowing too much.
And he's been awfully quiet.
Right. He hasn't made any disturbances. Just
making his
went
money.
Back to drumming. Was like
became a producer.
I got lit on fire. So I'm going to do this now.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think it's Spielberg who's coming out with his movie
about the aliens.
Yeah. I could be wrong. Let's see. I'll Google it. I'll Google it right now.
I don't know if we could trust that guy either. While you're Googling that, I would like to ask the question, what happened to the Harlem Shake?
The Harlem Shake?
Yeah. Like everybody on social media was doing that to that song where they were doing that da, 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 and then like one person's dancing and there's like 500 people and then the breakdown goes and then everybody's dancing. It was all over social media for 5 minutes. You're telling me that in the sanitation department, you guys didn't do a Harlem Shake video? No. Nobody told you to line up and do the skit in the video and blah, blah, blah. Really? Well, I just wanted to point out that, it could be brought back. You remember that boat scene where that dude's driving and all of his passengers just get fucking pulled because he hits a wave or some shit and everybody just gets thrown to the ground?
Yes.
That was the song. That was the Harlem Shake song. The kind of joke about that video was that everybody's normal and then it changes. Yeah?
Steven Spielberg's dropping a movie about alien disclosure ahead of the U.S. government saying they're going to go full disclosure about UFOs and aliens.
It's a setup, man.
They did a soft launch 2 weeks ago.
Where
they started dropping UFO files.
Yeah. I don't trust it.
Yeah.
Listen, you got all that hantavirus shit coming out, and I already saw the X-Files thing about that.
And everybody's clowning it too. Even I can't think of the comedian's name. I'm not a fan of his, but he does a late night show. Anyway, they're coming off the ship and everybody's in hazmat suits, right? Yeah. They got a guy in a bubble and they're taking him off the ship. And the cameraman, nothing on.
Just standing there
with the video camera, videotaping the whole thing. Stewart.
Oh.
Jon Stewart.
Oh, yeah.
And they circled the cameraman. He's like, you gotta be fucking shitting me.
Yeah, you guys don't even care anymore.
No.
I mean, how do you get away with it? Look at the people filming the hotel bodies that you do reviews on. Like, somebody's going to have a camera and catch you.
First of all, do you know what the Hunter virus comes from?
No.
Rat shit.
Perfect. Who was eating that?
No. So the first known cases of Hunter virus were during the Korean War.
Okay. Makes sense.
What happened is they got a lot of rats over there.
Right.
And it was a drought. Terrible drought in the summer.
Okay.
Rat shit gets dried out, turns into a powder. The powder gets airborne, you breathe it in, and that's how you contact. That's how you get it.
Perfect.
Okay. They were getting it out west in the desert here in the United States, especially during extra dry weather.
All right.
Even more dry for the desert than in like Arizona and places like that, right?
Okay.
You get the occasional case of it. It doesn't go from rat to human. It's not transferred by bite. It's not transferred by any of that. It's from their shit. So here's my question. How'd that fucking cruise ship get dried rat shit all over it?
Because their food is covered in dried rat shit.
That's the only way.
That's the only fucking thing. Or the rats are fucking dying in the water system.
No, it's aerosolized from dry rat
then
shit.
It's gotta be just the rats on that fucking ship.
And they weren't cleaning the food or whatever. You know what? I'm just saying.
The
odds of a cruise ship being contaminated with hantavirus.
Reason 1,005,000 to not go on a cruise.
Not to go on a cruise.
Just fucking stay off of it.
Besides the fact that they all break down and all the toilets overflow and shit goes everywhere.
It's one of the things that goes in the box with a swim up bar.
Yeah.
You don't want to be near it.
Oh, stay the fuck away from swim up bars. It's
just
nothing but piss.
Stay away from public pools. That's the PSA today.
That's the PSA?
We're putting a ban on all public pools.
I like that.
Stay away from public pools.
And gymnasium jacuzzis.
Oh, ew. Yeah, definitely.
That's where people go to wash their folds.
Oh.
I'll let you whatever picture comes up with that.
I can't even handle that. We were talking about the steam thing earlier.
Dude, if Planet Fitness had a jacuzzi, would you get in that motherfucker?
Fuck no. Fuck no, not even a little bit. There is, listen.
It's human soup.
There's a gym scene. There's a gym scene that makes me think of that. First of all, I don't think I've ever been in a gym that had a No, I did. Yeah, I belonged to Bally's once.
Bally's had a
jacuzzi because that's the only one where I had a steam room too.
Yep.
It's the only steam room I ever got to use. That's where old fucking Mikey Edge would outswim me with his fat body. I don't know how still. Shout out to my man,
going.
Mikey Edge, who just like a little whale floating by was like, "Are you okay, bro?" And I'm like, "Dog, you don't ask me if I'm okay. I'll fucking ask you if you're okay. Are you okay, bro?
Is your heart gonna blow?"
Yeah, get your fat ass down the way. What was I gonna say? But no, I've never been in there. But you remember that fucking one movie where the dude fell asleep in that thing? Could you imagine being so comfortable in a public jacuzzi, gym jacuzzi, that you're just in there and you fall asleep because you've been in there for 10 hours?
First of all,
why would you?
All right.
I'm just saying it's
right.
open.
Hold on. On that note, Pony Boy told me a story.
Oh.
He belonged to a gym that had a sauna, and they had to put a camera in the sauna because some old guy went in there and expired in the sauna.
Oh, yeah. Because they die. Yeah, because the heat. That's what I mean.
And nobody knew it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that'll fuck you up.
And he was in there for like 2 hours.
That's what I mean. And nobody notices.
Yeah.
And my man probably let loose the goose after he passed. R.I.P. Because it's just natural.
Yep.
So now that jacuzzi water's contaminated.
It was a sauna. It wasn't a
jacuzzi. Oh, okay. Well, you're still.
Yeah. So we'll leave that alone.
Oh,
avoid
that's
that.
Brutal.
I'll avoid that.
That is brutal, though. How the fuck did we get over to this?
How
did we end up in staying away from the swim up? Just stay away from all the public pools.
Yeah. So I'm going to take you left.
Yep.
Alexander the Great.
Way left.
To this day.
Left and back.
To this day, they don't know where he's buried.
We're still looking for that guy like Jesus.
Yeah. But what they think is, they think that they buried him alive.
Why now?
Historians went back and were rereading like about his illness that led to his death.
Okay.
Alleged death.
Okay.
And they think he suffered from a condition called Guillain-Barré.
Which is what?
Guillain-Barré, your body slowly becomes paralyzed.
Ew.
And so you're wide awake and you can't talk, you can't move, you can't do anything.
Ew.
And you're barely breathing just enough to keep you alive.
Ew.
And they think that's what he had. And they buried his ass alive somewhere.
That's shitty.
That is shitty.
No bell required.
No bell, right. Which touches on this when they were in the 1800s when they were putting up the bells on the graves, right?
In case they accidentally buried somebody. That's not good. I don't like that one.
Yeah, it was a weird thing I just came across.
Here's the most fucked up question. How they find out later?
Well,
like some DNA test, right? Like, oh, turns out my man was fucking innocent. Sorry, we barbecued him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when did they find? Who's finding that out later? Like his cousin? His cousin's like, no, you buried him. He wasn't dead. He was just stuck. He was stuck this way.
Yeah, dude, that's terrible.
I mean, isn't it? Somebody would have to notice. Like, aren't you going to notice when your legs start going numb? Or stop working, rather?
Well, with the medicine that they had at the time, you know, they probably thought he had bad humors, right? And they probably bled him or something crazy.
Oh. Tried to replace it. Give him
Get all the evil blood out.
Switch doodle.
The old switch doodle.
Switch doodle.
Something
replacing
nuts.
that AB with B positive type shit and then seeing what's happening.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's not good. You can't switch from unleaded to fucking performance or diesel.
Nope.
It won't work.
Does not work.
No.
By the way, you know what movie inspired
You can't say on here, guy. They're going to have to remove 5 minutes of the podcast because of that.
Let me look at my note here.
5 minutes of is not allowed. Listen,
Kevin Smith.
What about him?
Do you know what movie inspired him to write and direct movies?
Oh shit, I know this, but I don't.
Slacker. The movie Slacker inspired him to do all that.
Slacker?
Yeah. You'll have to watch the trailer.
I don't remember that one. Is that an older one?
Yeah, as soon as you see the trailer, you'll know.
That's not the white supremacist Nazi guy who falls up with a black chick, is it?
No.
Okay. I got to watch that movie again. I didn't see all of it. Slacker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's an 80s movie.
Yeah, I don't remember that one. Obviously, Kevin Smith wasn't watching cool movies like us.
In 4 years, the 80s will be 50 years ago.
Well, we still got 20 minutes to fill up on this podcast. Don't be bringing that weird shit to the table.
You're welcome. That's terrible.
Okay, we're not getting into this. Let's move on.
What do you want to talk about? You want me to talk about the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, or you got something else you want to talk about?
No, let's go there for that. But first, before we get into that, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Would you buy an eBay scuba regulator?
No.
Okay, there you go.
If you did, you would have to take it to a scuba shop immediately and get it serviced.
They also sell eBay parachutes.
Yeah. No.
I watched
eBay makes them? Were people selling their
I'm
parachutes?
not sure, but I watched a dude jump out of a plane with the Amazon parachute. It didn't work.
Oh, God.
Then I watched him jump out with the eBay parachute, and he claims it slightly worked. And I was like, and the comments were like, dude, how is eBay more better than Amazon? That's fucking insane.
eBay doesn't make anything.
More better. Yeah. It's just a bunch of backyard salesmen.
Yeah. I would not be buying a used parachute, number one.
I wouldn't. All right, well. I just want to know if you'd buy that used regulator.
If I buy a used regulator, it would go right to the scuba shop.
I'm not buying a used regulator anyways.
And it would get serviced, and it probably don't work anyway.
Yeah, probably not. All right, tell me about this place. The asylums.
So there was a mental hospital built in West Virginia.
Just so we're very clear, it does look like Mansfield.
It looks like Mansfield Reformatory.
I mean, it's not designed the same way.
No, not at all.
But it's got the vibe.
But it has the vibe from the outside.
Clearly made around the same time.
Built in 1860.
Maybe not the same time.
This is before West Virginia existed as a state.
Okay.
So Richmond, Virginia, which is the capital of Virginia, sends $30,000 in gold to have this hospital built in 1860 in northwestern. Well, actually, it's more like in the middle of the state. Sorry.
All right.
Of what is now West Virginia.
Okay.
So it's north of Richmond, Virginia. And they started to build the hospital. And right before the Civil War kicks off, the Union sends down soldiers and a general to the hospital. It says, give us all your fucking gold or we'll take it. Guy building the hospital goes, hey, you got to leave me $3,000 to pay all these laborers. They don't work for free. So the union breaks off $3,000, takes $27,000 to what is now the capital of West Virginia.
Nice.
Puts it in the bank. And that's the money that West Virginia used to secede from Virginia and form their own state.
Nice. That's sweet.
During the Civil War. And then afterwards, they finished building the hospital. The hospital was built to hold 254 patients. It's the largest sandstone building on Earth next to the Kremlin. The only bigger building is the Kremlin.
Oh.
Yes. Now, the hospital was really cool in design because it was designed to help people. The guy who built the hospital had the belief system that the building itself was the cure, right?
Okay.
One side of the hospital gets the sunrise, the other side of the hospital gets the sunset.
Good.
They had big windows that allowed breeze to go through the building. Everybody got fresh air and sunlight. People that lived in the hospital worked on the farm on the hospital grounds, or they worked in town and had part-time jobs and would go home and sleep in the hospital at night.
This is wild.
Totally crazy. They had no bars over the windows, no nothing.
Right.
People came and went as they wanted.
Sounds like a very fancy halfway house.
Yeah.
Right.
Each floor and each wing had its own dining facility and its own kitchen.
That's insane.
And each dining area, they were sitting at these giant wooden round tables with linen and fine china and glassware and all this other stuff. And you saw pictures of the inside of what it looked like in the 1860s and later on. It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Dude, it blew my mind because everything was so well crafted. It's not like a modern day facility by any means.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier with the lines and stuff. The architecture's better now. Instead of, that, all we have is squares.
Right.
Right angles.
I mean, the woodwork was amazing. The furniture that was in the place was outrageous. It was gorgeous furniture, gorgeous woodwork, gorgeous construction. Like it wasn't like a prison. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like a modern psychiatric hospital by any means. And they were like, listen, the term lunatic was the term that they used in the 1860s for any mental illness. So it wasn't meant to be derogatory. That's just the term that they had.
No
so
shit.
If you had depression, it falls under lunatic. If you had anxiety,
right,
any of these, whatever your
didn't matter what it was.
Didn't matter what it was.
You weren't right. You weren't right.
Now, asylum means like seeking asylum, a place of refuge.
Right.
So the hospital was really designed to be a place of refuge for people who had whatever their illness might have been.
Their ailment.
Right? And it was really designed to get people out of attics and out of basements, where family members would stuff them.
Oh.
Because back then, if melancholy, depression,
right,
it was like a stain on the family, so they would hide you away, right? Doesn't mean you were a terrible person. It doesn't mean you were fucked up. It just meant,
right,
we can't have you in public because you would make our family look bad.
Huh.
So the hospital was really, really designed to help people. Yes, what we would consider horrors as far as some of the treatment was, but that's the best that they knew of in science and medicine at the time, right?
I'd be more worried about the other stuff. Like one dude who sees dragons mixed in with another dude who...
Well, they would separate them.
However.
They would separate them based
Right.
on their condition.
Right.
Right? So the only people
So you're
that
putting like all the people who see dragons in one room type of shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And the people that were considered unclean didn't eat with everybody else. Like the people that had venereal disease or the people that would take their feces and smear their feces, they were in other parts of the hospital, right?
Gotta be more watched. A little bit more watched.
Right. So overall, it was a really, really interesting tour. If you're going to go, I highly recommend the 90-minute historical tour rather than the 45-minute daylight haunted tour, which they don't touch anything on the history, right?
For the daylight one?
Say again?
For the haunted tour?
Yeah, they don't really touch on the history. They go, in this part of the hospital, we've heard this or seen this or whatever it was.
Right.
Unlike Mansfield, where you go in and you just get a fucked up ass vibe when you're walking through that prison, right?
Yeah, and some blonde girl accosts you.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, you've been there the whole time we were there. There was just a really strange vibe,
Yeah,
right?
it's weird.
This place didn't have...
You don't think that place was like that?
No. If anything, there was sadness.
Sadness.
Not overwhelming, but it was just sad, right? But it's when you think Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, you think it's going to be like some Dungeness prison where they tortured people.
Yeah, 100%.
And it is not like that at all. It's totally different.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm really glad that I took that historical tour because it was really interesting.
I thought it was creepy that they had their own morgue.
Well, people spent their lives there.
Which is also crazy.
Yeah.
Could you imagine living in a place because you're slightly depressed? You live in the same building with some dude who, again, draws cuckoo birds with his own whatever.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
You'd think that would stress people out more.
Right.
Getting there.
Right. Well, it's funny because I showed you on the 4th floor, they never had any rooms or anything up there. It was like an attic space. And at one point in time, a patient went up there and started a fire. And on one wing, it burnt all the wooden floors out from the entire wing.
Right.
So they rebuilt them with concrete. And then on that 4th floor, they put in actual rooms. So staff would live up there. If you came to visit a patient, but you came from, 200 miles away, you could rent a room and stay up there.
That's crazy.
But at another point in time, that's where they kept the drug and alcohol rehab people, right? And what they were saying is if you got hammered out in town and you were drunk and disorderly, they would take you and put you up in the drug and alcohol section in the lunatic asylum. And the tour guide was like, yeah, in the 70s, my buddy got blackout drunk and they brought him here and he woke up in one of the rooms and the room was painted pink. So he wakes up in this pink room up on the 4th floor. And he said the reason he woke up is some giant guy was kicking his bed. It was like, get up, man. You'll miss breakfast if you don't get up. He's like, can you imagine waking up
to that
on the 4th? You're like, how the fuck did I get here?
Right. You have no idea where you are. Some rando in his pajamas is like, we got to get breakfast. Come on.
And he was like, you would think that would change your lifestyle a little bit. Like,
it didn't then, I'm assuming? He just went back to being blackout drunk.
Yeah, he said it did change. Unfortunately, it didn't change much for that guy. They never had any fences around the property.
Rose bushes, you said.
Yeah, they had rose bushes.
Keep them all in.
Yeah, they said up until a certain point in time, they had no bars over the window, and then the state mandated that they had to have bars, at least on the 1st floor.
Which makes not really a lot of sense, considering you have nothing else in the place that keeps anybody in.
Yeah, and what they did is when they put in the bars, they lined up the bars with the window panes, so if you were in the room looking out the window, you couldn't see the bars.
You didn't see the bars.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That is nice.
It's a nice gesture.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping those people willy-nilly and safe.
Yes.
Did you feel like that place was haunted?
I didn't get that vibe. I'm sure there's sections of it that we didn't go into because we didn't get to go through the entirety of it.
Was it cold?
It was cooler. It was way cooler inside of there because it's a big giant stone building.
Right. So you think it kind of just holds that in there?
It just holds the coolness. Yeah. I'm sure that there, like any place, I'm sure that there is some kind of spiritual activity.
I saw the small treacherous stairwells that they had.
Not all of them were
those pictures.
Yeah, not all of them were like that. They had big giant wooden staircases that went up all the flights of stairs to the different floors.
Like a Harry Potter movie.
Yeah, those small staircases were generally used by the staff.
Yeah.
So, and they haven't restored
secret to get around quick.
Yeah, they haven't restored the entirety of the building because it costs millions and millions of dollars, but they've done a lot of the different sections, and it's. And I looked at the tour guide. I was like, it looks like they couldn't build anything bad if they wanted to in the late 1800s. Like it's.
Well, people actually put in effort.
They did.
They didn't want that cookie cutter shit.
No, not at all.
It is kind of freaky, man, when you think about modern hospitals compared to something like that.
Oh, because they could slap one up in a month.
This is where it gets creepy, though. It's when you start looking at the tech and the beds. Those old hospitals look like they had a cot. They're like, oh, here's your cot. And it's like, oh, shit.
I mean, that's what tech
what they
was.
had. Yeah. So our tech in the hospital is beating the hospital building, but our buildings are not beating the old buildings.
They're not at all.
No. Maybe they're made.
Dude, in 1973, the local high school held their prom in their 2nd floor gymnasium.
Yeah, fuck that. Imagine going to prom and you get walloped in the back of the head with a hammer by some dude.
The patients weren't in there.
Yeah, I don't care. I do not give a fuck. You're talking about the place where there's nothing but rose bushes keeping them trapped down. Like, I'm not thinking that's like, that there were people that have been there their whole lives that could run that building.
Listen,
get from one side to the other secretly and nobody notices type shit.
so the guy did tell a funny story. He's like, in the 70s, there was a nurse that worked in the one building. It was a separate building.
Yeah.
That had we needed a giant tent for this function. And this guy who was a nurse or worked in that building had one. And we drove onto the campus, went over to the building to go talk to the guy to see if we could borrow it. And they went into the building. He said patients started walking up and grabbing him by his clothes like, "Oh, you got a nice jacket. Hey, man, you got any money?" He said him and his buddies were freaking out, just
right off
left.
the rip, bro.
He goes, they weren't trying to hurt us. He goes, it was just an overwhelming experience. He goes, I wish they had told us about that before we went.
Yeah, instead of just, they set him up.
Oh, he goes, it was a total setup. They were laughing their ass off when we went running out of the building.
Like, we sent those idiots in there. They're going to get they're going to get fucked up.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's creepy shit. It's crappy paper.
It's crappy paper.
Like, you wouldn't want to go. It's one of those things. Isn't it weird how an asylum is one of those places? Like, we wouldn't wake up on the weekend and go see one that's active now.
No, fuck no.
But we go and fucking chill at the ones and do tours
it's scary. It's supposed to be haunted.
It's creepy and it's. Well, first of all, it is scary. Second of all, it might be haunted.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, there's some definitely weird shit that went down. Like those little rooms in Mansfield that what'd they say they were for wood? I'm like, brah.
Oh yeah,
You got a bench in the center of this nipple room. You probably put some fucking humans in here.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
Don't you lie for a second.
I'm sure they did.
This is the equivalent of an indoor box right here.
Well, you heard what the tour guy or the one guy said. He was like, I talked to people that were in prison here during Vietnam. And the government was like, if you go to Vietnam, we'll commute your sentence and let you out. And one of those guys came back and said he would have rather gone to Vietnam again than be in that prison.
Jesus.
Because that's how rough and fucked up that prison. And listen,
you couldn't even do push-ups in that prison.
Listen, they told you in Mansfield people were getting thrown off the 5th tier.
Right.
Because they didn't have any cages. They had that knee-high railing.
Right. It's a quick way to get rid of problems, though. Be like, hey, he owes me poker money. Bye.
People were getting launched off the tiers all the time.
Listen, I would just never go up there. They'd be like, your bunk's up there. Oh, well. Stay down here.
I'll sleep on the floor on the first floor.
I'll sleep down here. Nobody's getting me high enough to throw my fat ass over the rail. I don't want to get baby bumped off of this fucking thing.
How about when we went down to where the hole was?
No, yeah. Fuck all that.
And they're like,
dude.
Oh, you know why they call it a hole? It was a giant hole in the basement.
Nope.
That was, 20 feet deep or something?
Yeah, I wonder if they really just put people in there.
They did. Remember they had a giant hole that was 20 feet down. It was 12 feet across. And they had to put him down with a ladder and they'd give him 2 buckets, one for food and one for shit.
Fuck
And then they built the brick wall all the way up to the first floor. And then they had a trap door on the first floor. And that's how they would put you down there.
Yeah, I don't remember that
And then it flooded.
No.
And they had the whole column filled up with water, and they had 3 floaters in there.
Do you think my man just floated to the top and chilled?
He was bouncing off the floorboards, and that's why they ended up having to fill it in. The hole was literally a hole in the ground.
Fuck all that. I want nothing to do with it. And listen, again, what's scarier is you go to that place, the asylum, and they got holes in the ground, and you're like, what are you using these for?
Right.
This is for Ricky. He keeps drawing elephants on the wall.
Yeah, right.
Just put him in that hole.
They did tell us the story, though, about the one world championship boxer that was punch drunk.
That was in there?
That was in there. And they were like, he was a massive guy. And he'd been beaten in the head so bad that his control over his emotions was not there.
Not good.
And he would punch somebody so hard that he would kill him and be like, oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that.
Jesus.
They said he was the nicest, most kind, respectful guy unless he, flipped that switch.
Do you want to be homies with that guy?
No. The way I pictured it, he was like Lenny from Mice and Men, right? And they were like, oh, yeah, they were saying he was in an isolation room, and they had, on the isolation rooms, they had a cage door, and then they had a steel door.
Yeah.
And they forgot to close the steel door, so only the cage door was there. They said he ripped the cage door off its hinges and walked out and handed it to the nurses. It was like, I didn't want to be in there anymore. They're
Jesus.
All right, we'll find someplace else for you.
Take you outside to the rose bushes, guy.
Do you mind? how strong that guy was. He just ripped the cage door off.
He didn't need to be in there. It's like
Yeah.
Superman just chilling in there.
Yeah.
Like you absolutely could not keep him in there even if you tried.
No, one day he'd be like, all right, I'm done. I'm going now.
Bro, that's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to work there, man.
Yeah,
it's
no.
the screaming that'll get me.
Oh, yeah.
All day, that would grind.
Oh, yes, it would.
Grind. And then if you don't have, like, you got to make all those rooms just hosable with a fucking drain on the bottom, bro. Because eventually,
Yeah.
And it's going to be
probably.
one of those deals. It's like a cop car. You got to spray it out at the end of your shift.
Yeah.
You don't know who's leaving what where.
Who knows?
But
How about that that Bigfoot thing I was telling you about
with the
with that survival expert?
about the guy whose kid was in there too.
Yeah, up in Idaho.
Is that a new story?
Yeah, it just came out.
Oh, that's a newer one.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, long story short, there was a guy who was a survival instructor. He would teach people in the military. Like, that's how good he was.
Yeah.
And he bought this piece of land way up in the mountains of Idaho, out in the middle of nowhere. He had 20 acres on his property. He was surrounded by thousands of acres that were owned by other people, and he knew who they were. They're like, yeah, man, you can hunt and fish on our property. We don't care. We don't use it, right? And so his buddy was helping him. He's like, hey, man, this is where Bigfoot lives. You see Bigfoot? And he's like, nah, that shit's not real. And then a big storm came through and knocked down a bunch of trees. So he calls his buddy. He says, hey, give me a hand taking down these trees. And his buddy sees a tree structure. He goes, hey, that's a Bigfoot tree structure. And he's like, no, it's not. Those trees just got knocked down in the storm. He goes, then why is the root ball of the tree upside down?
Upside down.
That don't make no sense. He goes, well, what is it? He goes, that's them letting you know that's their side of the fence and that this is your side of the fence.
Right.
If you don't fuck with them, they don't fuck with you. He goes, 6 months later, I was out mushroom hunting, and he goes, I got this feeling that I was the prey. He goes, I've only had that feeling one time before, and that's when I was a kid and I got stalked by a mountain lion. He goes, it's a terrible feeling. Like, you might not see it, but you can feel it. He goes, all of a sudden, I got that feeling. And he goes, I always carry a gun with me. And he goes, in the military, if you're in an ambush, the only way to survive an ambush is to charge the ambush.
Right.
He goes, so I saw this thing out of the corner of my eye, and he goes, I pulled out my gun and I started chasing it. I charged the ambush, right? He goes, it was this big reddish brown thing. It didn't look like a bear, and it moved really fast like a deer, but it was more stealthy than a deer, and it would disappear, and then I would pick up the tracks again, and I'd follow it. And he goes, and I followed it up this bluff up in the mountains, and it was trapped. And he goes, and in my head, I could hear, I'm going to die. He goes, so I backed off and went halfway down the bluff and came back around, and I pushed it off the top of the bluff so that it had a way to escape.
Right.
He goes, the next day I'm out on my property. I've got this stump next to my fence that I split wood on. He goes, there was 5 gallons worth of mushrooms sitting on that stump.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
The same mushrooms I was picking the day before. He goes, so I collected them up, and a couple days later, there was another 5 gallons worth of mushrooms. He goes, so maybe this is this thing's way of saying thank you, right?
Right, for leaving me alone.
Yeah, so he goes, okay. And he was like, I was processing some of my chickens and some of my, animals. He goes, I heard these things like guts, even though I don't believe in them. So he goes, I took the whole bucket full of guts and stuff, and I threw it over on the side of the fence, their side of the fence. He goes, I come out the next day, it's gone. He goes, and this went on for a while. Like, we were trading things back and forth. He goes, I would leave Granny Smith apples. He goes, they loved them. I could hear them off in the bushes eating them. And he goes, this went on for a year or two. He goes, my kids were little, like real little. And my kids would walk around on the property. They knew not to go out in the woods. And my kids told me that there were 4 of them. And they named the big one Bobby.
Perfect.
And they called the other one Mother. And he goes, why do you call her why do you call that one Mother? They're like, because it's always watching after us, Daddy. Oh. Right? And he said one day he heard this like a mountain lion screaming and growling. And he goes rushing down to his barn, and on his side of the fence, there's a dead mountain lion with a broken neck.
Yeah, that doesn't just happen.
No, he was like, dude, these things were protecting me and my family. He goes, so I threw the mountain lion back on their side of the fence as like, hey, here's a thank you, right?
Right.
The trading goes on for a little while, And the host was like, hey, did you ever see it? He goes, man, I'd see things out of the corner of my eye. I saw sad eyes one time. I'd see an arm or I'd see a leg, but I never saw the whole thing. Because he goes, you think people are good at camouflage? He goes, this thing was the most incredible camouflage thing I've ever seen in my life. 10 times better than any human, right? Even in a ghillie suit better.
Right.
Right.
He could disappear like the air.
Yeah. Instantaneously just disappear, right? But he would see like an outline for a second and then it'd be gone. He goes, one day I'm out on my property and my youngest son comes running up and it's like, Daddy, 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 my brother's gone. He was like, where did he go? He goes, off into the woods.
Oh.
So he grabs his rifle and his pistol and he starts going out in the woods trying to track his kid's footprints. Like, what the fuck? Why is my kid out in the woods? He knows not to leave the property.
Right.
And he goes, he's like a mile and a half away from his property, out in the deep woods in Idaho. And he goes, all of a sudden he hears his kid yell, Dad! And his kid comes running up to him. And he goes, what happened? He goes, I know I'm not supposed to leave, but I walked off into the woods and then I fell down this cliff and Bobby picked me up and carried me back.
Oh.
And he goes, Bobby saw you and he put me down and let me come back to you. He goes, how big was Bobby? He goes, way bigger than you, Daddy.
Jesus.
Dude, he goes, listen, if I heard this story from anybody else, I'd think
it was loony.
You'd think I'd think they were fucking crazy.
Like, you're ridiculous.
He goes, but my little kids who don't lie,
right,
who never lied in their life are telling me this.
Right.
He goes, and I've seen this thing. He goes, I chased it through the woods with a gun. He goes, and this went on for like 4 or 5 years, and then one day they were gone. He goes, I was actually kind of sad.
How did he know they were gone?
Because he would leave things.
And it would just stay.
Maybe
they did the migration.
Maybe, yeah. That's all I can imagine.
That's what I'm putting money on.
That's all I can imagine.
Prove the migration facts of having to leave. Or, again, the mafia showed up and was like, time to move you guys.
Yeah,
you've become friends too much with this outlier.
Yeah, you've been outed.
Yeah.
Time to go.
Time to move you again because somebody knows you're here.
Right.
You touch the human, you're out.
Yeah. So he goes, here's the crazy thing. My kids and I would go camping in the woods. And he goes, they would pace along us. Just far enough.
Fuck out of here, bro.
Just far enough that you could hear them.
Nah.
But you couldn't see them. And he goes, they would follow us. We'd camp. They wouldn't fuck with us, nothing. And they would pace us back.
That's some creepy shit.
I would go out hunting and they would pace me because I would leave them stuff.
That is some creepy shit.
So
I don't want anything pacing me or stalking me in the woods.
Here's my question yet again. Is it possible that there's an animal or a creature out there that we haven't been able to scientifically prove yet?
Yeah, they're just old school Arcturus Mafia. They're
the hobos that left the Pacific Coast Trail in their Arcturus jackets.
This hobo Beverly Hills bitch got an Arcturus jacket, went out into the woods, and never came back out because she didn't want to come back to the city life.
There's that.
Now she's out there being bred as a Bigfoot lady.
There we go.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. But like he said, he was literally in the middle of nowhere in Idaho.
And this is a new story. Like, this isn't from the 80s or something weird.
This just came out. He was saying it was in the 2000s.
Yeah, that's creepy as fuck.
And he's just now coming forward with this. And he's like, look, me telling this story can hurt my career.
Right. Because you look like a psycho.
As a survival instructor
who's going to want to learn from you when you look like a fucking nutter?
Right.
When you talk about shit that just makes no sense.
Right.
My kids met Bigfoot. Like, or Superman saved my wife.
Yeah,
like,
okay, motherfucker.
Okay, bro. Like, so I saw Batman.
To me, that lends more credibility to the story.
I mean,
why would you come forward with a story that could hurt your career?
I mean, I'm definitely rooting for the guy who tells me to my face, I'm going to tell you this story, and it's going to sound like bullshit when I'm done.
And that's pretty much how he started the story.
Right.
Yeah, it was really, really interesting, you know? But dude, I don't know.
I'm convinced.
Is it as crazy as finding out that there's a hobo queen?
Nah, I expected that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, bro. Listen.
So sidebar, people know what we're talking about.
All right.
There was a guy here in the city that had a job, had a real life, but his side thing was he was a train hopping hobo. And he was I guess a famous train hopping hobo.
Right.
Unfortunately, he passed away in a fire. And his kids were there and they were talking about his dad's life. and blah, 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 and how he would hop the rails and ride the rails from coast to coast. Right. And do all this stuff in his off time. That was like his thing to do. Right. And they were saying, there's a hobo queen, right? She wrote a book.
Right.
She's written apparently several books about the hobo lifestyle. And she lives in New York City. That blew my mind. Like, what do you do to be deemed the hobo queen?
Right.
Like, what lore follows you?
You got to know so many motherfuckers running around. You're famous.
Yeah.
You're famous by shaking hands because it's such a small niche community.
You're more famous than the train hopping kids.
It's the statistic thing. It's kind of like the Barnum and Bailey Circus College. Statistically, it's harder to get into Harvard because there's just less spots every fucking year and they cut more people.
Okay.
So you know what I mean? Like
I can see
per
that.
number, joining the circus is like joining the SEALs, I guess. They just be cutting everybody and then you write a book.
Then you write a book.
Even if you don't.
That's fucking hysterical.
Even if you don't make it, you still write a book and become a politician. So says Dan Bazillionaire or whatever the fuck that guy's name is. I mean, no, for the subculture part, listen, and I'll touch on this for a minute because we might be overdue for time.
Fuck HR.
But I was thinking, I've been watching, well, I'm fast forward because I don't watch anything anymore in regular speed. But man, you miss a lot of shit, but I'm like, it's unimportant. I don't care.
You didn't even watch the movie Begonia you were supposed to watch.
No, I was supposed to watch that before the thing and I forgot. We've been partying hard this week.
That's all right.
A lot of weird shit going on.
I got you.
Well, the 4 weeks. You went on vacation, man. And it was and it was fucking just
vacation.
Yeah, vacation. And it was like downhill in the office. Like people were like, we're going to check out early. This guy's not doing anything. There were no phone calls to regulate the days. There was actually one day last week, we didn't have our regular Friday meeting. I got confused. I actually was like, it was like 7:00. I'm like, where's this motherfucker at? Like I didn't hear from him. I wonder if he made it down to the honey farm totally fucking zoned out that you were. And I literally saw the base jumping pictures like the day before and still was like, what's this fucking guy doing? So I was watching on fast forward. I finally got around. It's been 6 seasons out. Cobra Kai.
Okay.
Dude.
You know that guy's did a Meineke commercial or something like that?
No. And this is why I'm thinking about what you're saying with the hobo queen.
Okay.
Was watching these kids and realizing that, when we were young, you'd hear about like dojo rivalry and you didn't think anything of it. Somebody just said, hey, motherfucker, he wears a different shirt and he thinks his kung fu is better. And we've joked about this.
Oh, yeah.
Like your kung fu is better than my kung fu. Like that's kind of a movie joke. But now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, holy shit. And I watched
you hear
Cobra
some of those
Kai
stories from the 60s.
Right.
Were dude.
Right. Where they were really fighting.
Tommy Skelly? How about Tommy Skelly tells the story about the guy whose entire family from his city were all
dojo heads,
martial artists.
Yeah. There's a bunch of them around here. And
that this other school and their school used to have fights in the middle of the street.
Yeah, 100%.
Right in the middle of the street.
100,000%.
And as a matter of fact, they said that these guys were so fucking badass. Their one brother, it was a whole family. I can't remember the name of the family. I have to ask Tommy Skelly.
Yeah.
That the one brother was in a bar and somebody slapped him. And he said, bet. And he left the bar and got his family and went back to the bar.
Yeah.
And they cleared the entire bar.
Right.
And when the sanitation department showed up, they were like, there were dudes folded over hoods of cars knocked out.
They were like, "Oh, this was a dojo dust off,"
and they were
in
like
the fucking center of the street.
And they were like, all these dudes in the bar were laid out in the parking lot, knocked the fuck out. And they're like, who did this? And they said the name of the family. They're like, fuck. Why did you guys fuck with that family?
Right.
Don't you motherfuckers know any better? So hold on. I was like, no, this can't be real. I cross-referenced it with somebody I knew who grew up in that neighborhood.
Yeah, it's legit.
And they're like, bro.
It's 100%. We don't fuck with them.
That family. And he goes, the entire family used to roll around in geese 24/7.
Yeah. Oh, in the thing?
24/7.
Oh, like outside?
Outside.
Oh, remember?
They would go everywhere wearing their gis.
Bro, speaking of which.
And they were like, you didn't fuck with the girls because the girls were fucking badass. They're like, you didn't fuck with nobody in that family.
Bro, so first of all, we've talked about this before. There is an unknown and known. There's an unknown rule in martial arts. You're not supposed to really wear your gi to the AM PM.
Okay.
Just so we're clear.
Oh, we talked about
You remember that
one.
black belt broad that we caught? Same thing with the military. They have rules. You're not supposed to be wearing uniforms to the AM PM, blah, blah, blah. Tell me how. I might have to find this because I got a lot of pictures in here. But tell me how recently I saw a man at one of our local watering holes picking up his boomstick wearing a full hakama.
Get out of here.
I fucking swear to God, dude.
Get out of here.
Now, listen, there were some peculiars about this, and somebody in the martial art world who knows about this verse is going to have to school me, because this was what got me. First of all, his hakama was way high, so it was like high water hakama. It was like almost mid-calf.
Oh.
I've never seen this in my life.
Okay.
It was a desert tan hakama.
You had that custom made, my man.
Never seen this in my life.
You had it custom made.
Where did he get a brown fucking uniform?
I don't know.
And that's what he has. I'm going to find this picture and show it to you off screen later. But how did he get that uniform?
Custom made.
Or like, how are you running around
made.
with this fucking thing, picking up your... Well, anyways, back to Cobra Kai. Like, what? First of all, I was watching most of the show, and there's a couple of real... It's hard because it's really mixed with a teenage show, but it's about characters that aren't teenagers anymore.
Right.
So you're looking at the little blonde kid from Cobra Kai, Johnny, and his whole life just blows. He didn't,
after that.
Yeah, he didn't outgrow the tournament. He got stunted. He ends up becoming a drunk, has a kid he never sees. And then he opens this dojo again. And here he is teaching this martial art of like hard-headed martial art to kids who need that. But he's a fucking drunk.
Oh.
And you're just like, homie, like it was a bunch of weird dynamics. Now here's where it got really weird. And this is where I was thinking about this with the culty stuff that we were talking about. Eventually, oh, here it is, dude. Oh, fuck. Okay, this is my man putting his boomstick in the back of his truck after coming out of the gun store. And he got the hakama on.
Oh, yes, he does.
That's full on, right?
Yeah.
Tan and everything.
And why from the back does he look like the dude from The Last Samurai?
Right. Right, he does. That's a shitty picture, but like it's a full-on waistband, but look how high that thing is. I've never traditionally seen one that high.
Maybe he ordered it from Japan and
ordered the wrong size?
No, that was the largest size.
Right. And it's just
but because
he's too tall.
6'6", it didn't fit him right.
Me out of the... Yeah, so anyways, so the whole show's going on, okay? You remember any of the Karate Kid movies?
Yeah.
Okay. You remember Silver is the guy with the black hair that the main Cobra Kai brings him in to trick Daniel LaRusso into being friends with him, and then somehow he gets him into the Cobra Kai dojo, and that's that scene where he's punching the boards, and he's like, this is your enemy, kill him, kill him. He's like the really good-looking dude with the blue eyes. Anyways, it's super weird, right? So you zoom into the show now, and you're thinking, and I'm thinking in my head with this updated thing, because these two dorks, LaRusso and the Johnny guy, rebuild their dojos, and they've got these kids following him, and all of a sudden, the kids are fighting.
Oh.
And I'm like, hold on a second. You two idiots over your teenage rivalry made two dojos, and now your two group students are beating the fuck out of each other at school. And this is the whole show, bro. It's like Roadhouse with new dojos all over again. And that's what you got me thinking about is these rumbles. And I'm kind of sitting here thinking, anyways, as I'm
they were saying in New York City and in Chicago in the 60s.
Oh, it's, yes.
That dojos were just like the story I told you where the two dojos were in the middle of a 4-lane road.
You would meet up and beat the fuck out of each other.
Beat the fuck out of each other in the middle of traffic. They were saying in the 60s that shit was legit.
You and I know that we have shown up to those same events, not for dojos. So imagine you're hanging out with the same motherfuckers 4 times a week in a fucking karate gi. You're beating the fuck out of each other, and you know how this goes.
Oh, yeah.
You need to get some of that fucking polish on somebody who's not your homie.
Yeah.
So you can check to see if your level 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 works, because you've been doing 1 through 5 at the house all day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But anyway, so I'm watching this fucking show, and here they've infested these dojos, and now you have 70 fucking kids having brawls every time they see each other. So 3 Cobra Kai sees 1 Miyagi-Do, they're like, let's get that motherfucker. He ate my fucking Funyuns earlier. And they're throwing whip kicks over it. And so anyways, to continue on how goofy it is, the old man fucking from Cobra Kai goes to get the black-haired guy who he used to trick LaRusso. He shows up, and the first thing this guy says, he goes, brother, don't you think it's kind of weird that I terrorized a teenage boy and beat the fuck out of this kid as an adult? He goes, you don't think that behavior's a little fucked up?
Yeah.
And he tells this to Kreese, who's the main guy from the movie who Miyagi beat up, and Kreese goes home.
Right.
Of course, this dude spins himself up and starts whip kicking shit in his house and is like, wait, maybe I do need Cobra Kai, and runs back to the dojo, and they start the vicious cycle all over again.
That's terrible.
Yeah, these dojo kids gotta go.
Dude, stop the violence.
It's a bunch of violent motherfuckers.
Stop the violence.
But you got me thinking about it, is like, now you have this thing that's, you're supposed to have martial arts, which is supposed to be defeating your ego and having peace, but you've got these dudes who are so involved with, I need to prove my kung fu. And that's where you get that family from. It's like the Dog Brothers, bro. You remember the Dog Brothers.
Yeah.
The Dog Brothers are the only fools that are on camera right now where you can watch them pop each other's knees out of their sockets because they're whipping each other's ass with rattan sticks at full speed. And you're like, bro, why are you hitting your boy's kneecap?
Yeah.
I don't need you to demonstrate that that'll happen. We know you
100%
have to
that'll happen.
Yeah, you have to accept that I can pop your elbow out with this stick when I'm whipping it full force. And if you don't want to, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
You're an idiot. But yeah, is this like a cult thing, bro? I think these martial artists should be watched out for. I think we should infiltrate this.
Oh, yeah?
Especially the butt scooters.
Oh.
Those are the worst ones.
The worst one.
Butt scooting, rubbing
what was that video?
Rubbing their testes all over each other.
My man was like, hey, if you're going to train for fighting.
Oh, he said if you're going to train for fighting, he goes, it makes sense to train in boxing. And he goes, boxing and BJJ or, you know, Taekwondo and something else. He goes, but when they got 2 weird fucked up things.
Like
goes,
if you're going to spar against the guy who's
does,
a Muay Thai fighter
and capoeira, stay away from him.
Get the fuck out of the ring.
Listen, he listed Wing Chun as one. We're Wing Chun and Escrito, so, or Kali as it'd be called. Those aren't really weird ones. You put all of us together, we just like throwing hands.
Right. He's like, get out of the ring.
But we need like Wing Chun mixed with like, with
box
fuck. Yeah, left way. There you go. Yeah. You get a little bit of that, you'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Get out of the ring.
They don't even go together. Doesn't matter.
My man is training for something that you are not prepared for.
We're going to pitfall you. But yeah, listen, if you're a person out there right now and you're listening to our podcast and you made it to 57 minutes, you could be a sad rude boy, maybe. If you are, check out the Cobra Kai, man, because listen, after Johnny lost that tournament, he didn't get better.
Oh, God.
He didn't get better.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. My man did not recover from LaRusso pulling the illegal kick.
Oh, God.
I had to look it up why that kick should be considered illegal, and they're saying because of where it hits and how it's thrown. It could be illegal because it could cause lethal issues.
Oh, okay.
I'm
this
like,
isn't
no.
Dimmock, my man.
Okay. Yeah.
This isn't Emperor's Long Fist.
Listen, if he gave you the flat crescent kick to the face, you're going to die.
Oh,
anyways,
so crazy.
Listen, we're going to bounce out of here. Say goodbye to everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. We love you all. Thank you for enjoying the show, hanging out with us. Write the show. Shout out to all of our listeners that write us and send us fucked up shit in the DM.
We love it.
We appreciate all of you. Shout out to all of our old listeners
who are still around.
We're not going to put your names out there, but we love you all.
We love you all.
We're glad you're here. We're glad you made it through another episode. We will see you next Tuesday, promptly at 6 a.m.
There we go.
We will be here.
Later.